Hi, I'm Chef Sean, and today in the topic of potatoes, we'll be bringing you a potato gratin recipe, or you can also call it a potato Dauphinoise. So for the quick rundown of the recipe for the potato gratin, we have here the whitewashed potatoes, we have a whole nutmeg, some thick thyme leaves, Parmesan cheese, cheddar cheese, as well as we have here cooking cream. Okay, so for the first step, we'll be peeling the potatoes. So just get your peeler ready, and just for your ease, you can use this bowl and peel directly into it. As you peel, make sure to get off any blemishes or black spots that you might find. So once you're done with the peeling of the potatoes, now you can go ahead and give it a good rinse. Okay, for the next step, we'll be making the sauce. So for the sauce, in a preheated saucepan at a very low heat, just add in your cream. Bring it to a simmer. While simmering, waiting for it to simmer, you can, this is a whole nutmeg, which is better than a powdered one. Okay, so you can just use a grater like this. And that should be enough. Now, wait for it to come to a simmer. As you can see now that it has come to a simmer, you can proceed with some seasoning, a little bit of salt and some black pepper. Finally, with your cheese, we have here cheddar. Okay, we will put in half of your quantity, as well as your Parmesan cheese. Also half the quantity, as we will reserve some for garnishing the gratin on its own. Okay, so continue cooking for 1 to 2 minutes until the cheese has fully melted. So just check so that the cheese has fully melted. Alternatively, for this recipe, you can temper the cream with 1 whole egg yolk for better richness, and also when it sets, it will have a bright yellow color. Okay, now that it's done, the cheese has fully melted, you can bring it off the heat and let it cool down. You can do this in advance. This is a parchment paper, and we have here a mold to bake the gratin in. So just with a knife, you can cut this parchment paper. Just put it down so you have a guideline like this, and just cut according to the mold. Okay. Just like this, remove. Repeat this step for all 4 sides. So now that you have this, you can just layer it in, making sure that all the sides are covered. This is not a very necessary step, but it is good that once you are done with the baking, you can just pull it out very easily. Okay, now we can move on to the cutting of the potato and the finishing of the dish. Now we will finally slice the potatoes. So get your potatoes, you should not soak it in water anymore, as it will absorb the water and your gratin will fall apart in the end. So just get your knife. You can do this with a mandolin. Okay, so just cut off the edges first, as it is uneven. Put that aside. You can save that for mashed potatoes. Okay, so around 2mm to 3mm is the length or the thickness that you want. Okay, so all around, make sure there is an even thickness. Okay, we are now finally ready to assemble the potato gratin. So give it a good stir, the sauce that you have done previously. Okay, so for ease of assembling, just pour into a glass bowl if you have, and then we can continue. Okay, now with the cheese and the sauce, I have a spoon here. So with the mold that you have prepared, now we will show you the steps that will be used. So first, a little bit of the sauce will go in. You don't have to fill up evenly all the bottom of the mold. All you need to do is just spread it out so that it's all in contact. And now you get your slices of potato. Just layer it in one by one like that. Try and keep it as even as possible. Don't spread it out too much, like so. Once you are done this part, a little bit of cheese. Try not to put too much cheese as it will cause it to collapse as well. Now we move on to layer number 2. Try to spread it out evenly without moving too much the potato and the cheese. Don't worry if it looks uneven. In the end, we will press the potatoes, so no problem there. Okay, continue. Okay, now once you have the second layer on, just give it a very light press so that everything becomes even, just like this. So like I mentioned before, the unevenness is not a problem, as now once you press, it becomes even again. Okay, so now we'll continue with the cheese again. And we will repeat this until we have 4 to 5 layers of the potato and the cheese and the sauce. Okay, so this will be the final layer that I'll be doing, and then for the final layer, you just add one more layer of sauce. This time try to keep it even. Make sure that all the potatoes are covered by the sauce, as no more potatoes will be added. And finally, one last layer of cheese. And now we can proceed to the baking process. For the first baking step, we will preheat the oven to 175 degrees Celsius, and then with the aluminum foil, just cover it up tightly, and we will be baking it for 30 to 40 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius, and for the last 10 to 15 minutes, we will open baking it open at 175 degrees Celsius as well for the color, and we will begin it now. So, okay, now that the potato has been baking for 30 minutes, and I also have removed the aluminum foil and baked it continued for another 15 minutes. So now I will remove it from the oven to show you the end result. So you can see it's a nice golden brown, the cheese is bubbling on the top and the potato is fully cooked. So So one way you can check is you get a very sharp and thin paring knife, or if you have a cake tester, that will work as well. You can just poke into, just pierce directly down the middle, and if you feel that it's all soft and tender, then it is 100% fully cooked. So now we will let it cool. Now that it has cooled down a little bit, you can use the remaining parchment to fold in your Dauphinoise or Gratin, and with the identical mold, just press it down ever so slightly. Do not press it too rough, as the sauce will come out. So just like this, you will just add the weights. You can use anything that will fit. Finally, just give it a wrap. Just wrap it securely so that it is still applying a little bit of pressure. Now we are ready to put this in the refrigerator. Okay, after being overnight in the refrigerator, so you can remove it, put this aside. Now you can slowly and gently pick up your gratin. If it still sticks, use a paring knife. Just run it along the sides. Slowly pull it out, and it should be a very nice shape. Just like this. Okay. So now you can cut it to a portion. You can preheat in the oven before serving. So I'll just be cutting it into half. Still be gentle with a spatula. So you can see the layers here. We'll be reheating this in the oven at 175 degrees Celsius for around 5 to 8 minutes. So after 5 to 8 minutes, it should be fully hot in the center, and it is ready for serving. You can plate it up as an individual dish, or you can use this as a side dish for any main course. This is the end product. So I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.